This is Gary Butterfield.
This is Cole Ross.
And this is Monster My Podcast.
And this is the Legend of Grimlock.
There's a monster in my podcast.
Yes, this is the, what is it? Not Def Leppard. What's that band? Pantera, like, logo or whatever.
Oh,
Slayer, like, Fast Jimmy or, like,
he's a little
Crazy
bit,
Eddie.
He's a little bit like a Hatchet Man, too, right? Like, if you got him in profile.
Yeah, he should be hanging out with Ratfink and doing some cartoons. Like, this is definitely like a weird metal album cover creature.
What the fuck is Ratfink?
Oh, Ratfink, he's that drawing of like the weird rat on top of the car from like Hot Rod magazine.
Oh, I had pogs of him.
Oh man, did you? Yeah, he was a popular Pog favorite. I mostly know him from The Simpsons. Like there's a Homer holds a magazine at some point.
Oh, yep, I also know that one too. Yeah.
Yep. But these are like so there's so many fucking entries in this book that are like, what if orcs were X?
Mm-hmm.
And this is just like, what if orcs were blind?
Yes.
You know, so like blind orcs. Here we go.
Yep. So, yes, that just changes the roles, and like maybe you're going to be able to skirt them, but a DM who uses these will just lure you into a false sense of security and then have them descend because there are way more of them who are aware of you than you are of them.
Yeah, they're invisible if they stay still in certain mountainous areas, and they only attack in the dark where they have that advantage.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of interesting from like a, you know, studying in town to figure out how to counter monsters standpoint, where like, oh, you know, cast like, you know, Odaluke's super loud noise or whatever.
Yeah, or audible glamour is the one that they call out specifically.
Or you can throw perfume in their face and blind them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's kind of cool as an idea, but mechanically, other than that, they're just more or less orcs.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of a bummer.
A little bit. And like even societally too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, guess what their favorite food is, Gary? Humans.
Yeah.
Long
they love humans. I love the little bit at the end though, because they hang out by mind flayers because mind flayers just eat the brains and then just leave piles of corpses out for these guys.
Yeah.
Like that kind of symbiotic relationship I kind of like.
That is pretty good. Like they're like the people in the biodiesel cars who go around and get the fry oil.
Yeah. They're like little Cheech Marins. And he kind of like, I don't know. As far as like entries in this book, I don't think the Grimlock looks the least like Cheech Marin.
I think that might be not racist, but racial.
No, he's just like, he looks like he's kind of like a you know, he like is super like hippie looking.
Oh yeah.
You know, like he looks like a little hippie guy.
Yeah. He's got the hair that stands out. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's supposed to be unkempt.
Okay.
You know, his unkemptness, like when I think of, not to get too serious, like when I think of Cheech Marin, that's not what I think of when I think of like a Mexican American stereotype.
Yeah.
I don't think of him. I think of him as more of a hippie stereotype.
I think of him in the other movie that played all the time, Born in East LA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is way too serious for me. I just wanted Up in Smoke.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to laugh about smoking pot without really understanding it.
I wanted to hear that lady fake the orgasm in the back of the truck while they're going through customs.
I wanted that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's not a whole lot more to these guys, which is kind of a bummer. I was expecting more based on this illustration because they look like proper twisted, you know? Like when I look at the Juggalo twisted.
Yeah, exactly. They look psychopathic with a couple K's in there, you know, for good measure.
They also look like they vape. So there's like that going against them as well. Even though they couldn't vape because it would drive them blind.
I suppose, yeah, but they have to do like scentless vape. I suppose you can get that right. Man, so many vapes.
I don't know. The vape lore podcast.
The vape lore. I mean, I was about to go into a serious conversation, so I'll go back to my hometown of Mansfield.
Vapelandia.
What?
Of Vapelandia.
Yep. Vapelandia. No, pretty soon. Go back to my hometown of Mansfield in Ontario, Ohio. And so it's about like once every 2.5 months or so, right? A couple times a year, handful of times a year. And every time I go, a new like strip mall new lot has been taken up by a vape shop. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why it's metastasizing like that.
It's more or less a sentient virus.
Oh yeah,
like it's you know, I feel like it's there's like a Grant Morrison story where vape shops literally procreate and populate that way.
Yeah, starts as a vape shed.
Yeah, it becomes a vape shop and eventually becomes a vape complex, and then it becomes Vape City,
the vape district. Yeah,
and then Vape Nation on YouTube.com.
Brought to you by our backers at Patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv.